And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. That's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well.
Very good, sir.
Oh, call was declined. Embarrassing. Call was declined.
So Donald Trump has the president of Liberia at the White House. And can we have one day in this country where Donald Trump doesn't embarrass all Americans on a world stage in front of everybody? One day. Can one day go by? Donald Trump has the president of Liberia in the White House, and he looks at this guy dead ass in his face and says, "Oh, you speak such good English. Where'd you go to school at? You speak such good English." To the president of Liberia. What is the point of having 1,000 advisors around you? What is the point of having all these advisors if no one is going to give you a rundown of who the people you're meeting are before you meet him? I understand the president is functionally illiterate, and I understand he has no sense of history, but the official language of Liberia is English. Do you know why? Could somebody at the White House please explain to him why the official language of Liberia is English? Are you kidding me, dude? How embarrassing. God damn.
By now, maybe you've seen that Trump was meeting with the president of Liberia and he said this.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully?
Okay, so not only is that just ignorant, racist, it's also just historically a very stupid thing to say, and I want to explain why. The modern country of Liberia was literally founded by a private kind of organization supported by the US government. Formed in 1816, the American Colonization Society was founded by people who thought that the best way to deal with Black people living in the United States was to get them out of here and send them, quote, back to Africa. Now, they focused on free Black people who volunteered to leave. And it was mostly founded by Quakers who sort of best intentions were like, well, we want them to have the best opportunity for freedom and equality, and we think that's going to be over in Africa, not here. There's problems with that, but still. But also, obviously, racists and enslavers and other groups that just didn't want free Black people roaming around, they also were like, yeah, send them over there. So in 1822, they started shipping over Black Americans who volunteered to go and settle and found the colony of Liberia. And I want to be super clear about this. If you remember from your American history class, like the Virginia colony that was like a joint stock company that got a charter from the king to go and found Jamestown, it's 100% the same thing. It's what's happening here. You have Black Americans going and settling and colonizing a place where there are already people living there. So where Liberia is today, it was known then as the Pepper Coast, and it had been inhabited by people for a very long time, but we know historically, at least going back to the 12th century, as especially the kingdoms, the kind of gold salt kingdoms of Ghana and then Mali and Songhai started to collapse, desertification kicked in, and people started to head toward the west coast of Africa where the land was better. This, by the way, is one of the other reasons why there was so much sort of chaos and ethnic violence and territorial wars in West Africa right at the time when a lot of Europeans were looking for a source of slavery. So they found this colony. They bring with them English. They bring with them Protestant Christianity, this sort of Republican idea of government, like a republic. And by 1847, about 25 years later, they issue a Declaration of Independence. They settle on principles within like a constitution similar to the United States. And in doing so, they have basically taken white Protestant English-speaking society and colonized it and put it on top of indigenous society. Now, white people in the United States don't really see it that way because to them in the 1800s, they're all Black people. So why can't they all just kind of unite and get along? Some of the Black settlers did mix. They did marry with indigenous people, but for the most part, it was just really difficult, right? They speak different languages in the same way that a lot of the borders that were drawn on Africa later didn't really make a lot of sense. This one didn't really either. But all of that is to say, for the president of the United States to tell the president of Liberia that he's surprised he speaks really good English is not only racist, it's also just historically so dumb.
Well, breaking fucking news. Donald Trump sitting in front of African leaders. The president of Liberia is speaking to Donald Trump. Donald Trump lets him finish. When the president of Liberia finishes, Donald Trump says, "Such beautiful English. Where did you learn to speak English like that?" The Liberian president looked this motherfucker in the face and said, Liberia's official language is English, Mr. President, because Liberia is a nation of slave ancestry that they sent from America back to Africa, created Liberia, and the Liberians took the entire fucking country. Their flag looks like the American fucking flag, and our sitting U.S. president didn't know the official language is fucking English because their ancestors are fucking slaves. I'm so sick and tired of this dumbass shit that I had to fucking scream just now. Because I don't think you...
So picture this. Trump's at the White House, meeting with African leaders. Liberia's president grabs the mic and speaks clear, fluent English. Trump, dead serious, goes,
I want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. That's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well. And
Sir, Liberia was founded by free black Americans in 1822. English is their official language. This ain't Duolingo, it's history. And somehow in 10 seconds, Trump managed to be surprised, condescending, and passive-aggressive as all while revealing he failed history class. What a damn shame and an embarrassment.
Donald Trump just reminded the world that he has the cultural awareness of a potato. At a White House lunch with African leaders today, Trump decided to compliment Liberia's President Joseph Boakai on his beautiful English. Then Trump asked him 3 times where he possibly could have learned such good English. Spoiler alert, English is literally Liberia's official language. The country was founded by free and formerly enslaved black Americans. It's been independent since 1847, about 170 years before Trump figured out how to read a teleprompter. But Trump couldn't let it go. Where, he pressed, were you educated? And Boakai, I'm probably not saying his name correctly, who once walked 300 miles to get an education, politely humored Trump instead of flipping the damn table on him. This is also the guy who once complained he couldn't understand an Indian reporter speaking English, so naturally Trump asked for a translator. Because after all, why learn about the world when you can just be the loudest guy in the room? A great nation deserves the truth. That's why I'm John Arvosis reporting from Washington.
Racism and ignorance will have you thinking that Africa is just a poor pile of dirt with no money or education to be found. Well, let's get some facts straight. Let's start with Liberia, the first African republic to declare independence, and Africa's first female president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who, mind you, was awarded a Nobel Peace Prize. They are top innovators. Nigeria has one of the fastest growing tech industries in the world. Their startup scene is booming so much that Kenya is called Silicon Savannah. And Rwanda is ranked one of the cleanest and safest countries in Africa. As for education, Africa is home to some of the oldest and most respected learning institutions. Take Timbuktu in Mali. Scholars gather there before Harvard was even a thought. And their economies, you ask? They are growing fast. Ethiopia, Ghana, and Senegal have had some of the highest GDP growth rates in the world over the last decade. Africa is not a monolith. It has 54 countries, 1.4 billion people, and limitless brilliance. And last but not least, while they have 2,000 languages spoken in Africa, making it the most linguistically diverse continent in the world, and about 25 of those African countries have English as their national or official language, while they still have many other indigenous languages, some of those being French, Arabic, or Portuguese, depending on the country. So not only are they booming in technology, education, innovation, and in their economy, but linguistically, they've got the US beat, that's for sure.